Hello, this is Heisenberg with my continuing coverage of Anime Boston 2015. Here I have photos and video of cosplayers. And my word, there were a lot of cosplayers at this event, clearly having a lot of fun. I was there to see the Godzilla guests, and I was very pleasantly surprised to find out the convention is much bigger and much more festive than I expected. There's a lot of students there, a lot of college students and some high school students, and the festive atmosphere started early. I arrived Thursday afternoon to pick up my pass and discovered that there are already a lot of people there already in costume. And during the convention, I saw that it would go well into the night. Now, I'm primarily a fan of live-action science fiction TV and film and comic books, but I was happy to find out more about anime while I was there. So I do know about Miyazaki, of course. He was a cosplayer dressed as Miyazaki. And I was also glad to see, Godzilla, some Godzilla cosplay there. Really like this fellow's royal outfit, King of the Monsters. But I was curious why these cosplayers were posing the way they were. And luckily I got to find out.
I am Yukiko Amagi, future proprietress of the Amagi Inn.
I am the great Rohan Kishibe, famous mangaka. This character is from a manga called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and they're known for making a lot of obnoxious poses for no reason whatsoever. So that's why we were just doing a couple of very exaggerated things in the spirit of the situation.
There's like a lot of pointing, a lot of looking over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. And I have a longer interview with these cosplayers in a separate video where we talk, for example, about what they like about Artist Alley, so check that out. I was also very impressed by the panels at Anime Boston. Now, some were better than others, but I went to a few that were very interactive, very well prepared, and very well executed. And I'll show a little of those in some of my other videos. The one cosplay-themed one I went to was the Cosplay Death Match, where two cosplayers would go on stage at the same time, and the audience would vote which one should defeat the other. And then the winner would, sort of act out a mock battle and slay the loser. And then they would just keep going through different rounds of elimination until they were finally down to one final winner. Now, I also noticed at the convention a lot of groups of friends. Looked like there were a lot of organizations and clubs of various sizes that had gone, including some cosplay clubs that would sort of sometimes they'd gather up. They would gather up to hang out and also gather up for photo shoots. So I was also curious to find out more about some of these.
My name's Kylie.
My name's Nicole, mother-daughter team.
Yes, we are. Part of Maritime Cosplay. We're a Rhode Island group. Often do mostly like DC Comic, Marvel cosplay groups. It's relatively a large growing group, adding new people as we come along.
Right. And this year I decided I was going to dress. Tomorrow I will actually be your mother in character as Mystique. She'll be my son as Nightcrawler. So she convinced me to do the mother-daughter thing with that. And then this costume progressed. We'll all be in Marvel tonight.
Oh, it's great to have family support like that. Now, I've been going to conventions since the 1980s, and very broadly speaking, I've encountered about 3 different types. The smallest is basically a marketplace or just a dealer's room, often happening in a hotel ballroom, where there's buying and selling going on of one particular type of item. So it could be comic books, or vintage movie posters, or antique toys. Or once I was actually lucky enough to stumble upon one specializing just in Godzilla toys. That I really liked. And those types are fine for what they are. Now, there's also for-profit conventions, sometimes big, sometimes small, that are heavy on TV celebrity guests, where a lot of people go to buy autographs and hear the celebrities speak. And this tends to attract, relatively speaking, a somewhat more mainstream crowd, and the mood of the people there seems to be more like they're going to a public performance or some sort of public talk, and people tend to keep to themselves and go home early. And another type of convention, though, is sort of a fan-run, non-profit convention. And when they're at their best, these can be very festive, very open and friendly, and just go non-stop, from start to finish. And I was very happy to discover that Anime Boston, while I was there, was one of the best of these that I've been to. Just a lot of people putting a lot of energy into it. Very happy to be there. Again, very friendly. And it was just, I went to see Godzilla. I did get to see Godzilla, but I was so happy to discover so much more. And I'm making a whole series of videos about the convention, so please check those out.
I'm Luca, and this is Erin. She's dressed up as Grell. I'm dressed up as Lady Steampunk, which is a random character I just randomly made up. I usually do Aloise from Black Butler, Elle from Death Note, Matt also from Death Note. She's also going to be doing Sebastian from Black Butler tomorrow.
Yes, as I said, people brought a lot of energy to this convention and a lot of costumes. And by the way, I do have longer versions of these interviews in separate videos, so check that out. I was glad to see that it was not just anime cosplayers at the convention, but also characters from comic books, television, and movies. I've noticed that what's popular in costuming has changed over the decades. For example, medieval gowns were very popular in the late 1980s at the conventions I went to. And people would also wear these little toy dragons on their shoulder, where the sort of like the tail would wrap around them to hold the dragon on. And I haven't seen those in quite a while. I was glad to, you can sort of see for yourself what sort of types of costumes were popular at this convention. I was glad to see a lot of strong female characters. I'm a big fan of strong female heroes like Batgirl, Wonder Woman, Xena, Buffy, Nikita, Susan Ivanova from Babylon 5, Sydney on Alias, and more recently Melinda May on S.H.I.E.L.D. So once again, I was glad to see a lot of strong characters being portrayed at the convention. I did see a few people dressed up as me, Heisenberg, but no Jesse. Yeah, that's how it goes. Jesse is always wandering off. There were also some classics, like the Fourth Doctor. That scarf has, always been popular. There's always a few of those, at least, at a convention. So overall, I do highly recommend Anime Boston for cosplayers. The convention was, very big, but not too big. Very diverse, very energetic, and very friendly. Of the 2 days, I went Friday. Well, I was there, Thursday afternoon, but also went Friday and Saturday. Of the 2 days, I preferred Friday to Saturday because it was less crowded, it was easier to move around, and it was less hectic. But and also, it would actually be good if you could stay there. If you could afford to stay there, because like I said, the events went well into the night. They had things going on well past midnight. So it would be good if you could stay very close by. If you could, stay very close by, though Boston's a very expensive city. And once again, check out my other videos with coverage of this convention. I'll have videos in particular about Godzilla, but those will take some time to edit and upload. And if you are a Godzilla fan, I also have a lot of videos on Godzilla and Godzilla toys. And also, if you're a Batgirl fan, I've got videos on Batgirl and the new Batgirl toys that are coming out. In particular, I recommend my review of the Godzilla inflatable costume. I actually saw one at this convention, but the fellow was having trouble inflating his because the fan wasn't working. So I told him on my review I give advice on how to get that fan working again. So once again, this is Heisenberg, hoping you enjoy your costume play.